before we get up out of here, man. Let me. Kentucky fans, look, I know you guys are probably at home thinking to yourself, damn, Texas fans talking to us like this. These are some of the good guys of that group. So go ahead, follow them, like them all. Like, hey, look, they're good guys. Okay. Deep down, they're good guys. Being ignorant about, college football, winners and stuff, being in the winner's circle. They're good guys at the end of the day. But, anyways, hey, before we get out of here, I got a couple things I want to talk about. First off, I cannot wait until next week. Okay, why? Because those schedules for the SEC next year in 2024 are going to be released. It's going to be bunkers. I'm really interested,
Ooh.
not only in OU schedule because I think we've kind of seen some of the projections, but I'm definitely interested in Texas schedule. Not because I'm trying to troll, but simply because it seemed like everybody want a piece of y'all. And Texas A&M is talking all this stuff. All we talked about that. And it seems like they're trying to pitch y'all against other people. It seems like y'all and LSU are tied an awful lot to each other from stuff that I've been reading. So I think it's going to be really interesting how it plays out with your schedule because your schedule is going to be more unique than OU because just in
Somebody,
my opinion, and I'm not saying that I'm a history buff or whatever, but I feel like we maybe play a little bit more SEC teams. That's just my opinion than you guys, or at least recently, I would say. And I just feel like you guys have more of a unique chance to actually like venture out, play some newer teams than just Texas A&M and Arkansas right off the bat. I feel like you guys have some leeway to really forge some new rivalries in the SEC. So I'm definitely interested because it seems like everybody wants a piece of y'all. So I'm just like,
But Chris, that's how it's supposed to be. Every time we've engaged with the SEC, at least of
uh-huh,
recent. So I'm gonna say, since I've been on YouTube, right? So I'm including Georgia Sugar Bowl game,
yeah,
LSU 2019 game,
yeah,
the last year's game
Bama.
against Bama, right? Every time we've engaged with SEC competition, granted it's a small sample size, it has been absolute fire. It's been fire for content. It has
mhm.
been fire for trash talk, and the games have been really good because Texas, for whatever reason, win or lose, Texas actually plays up to the opponent.
Well, you know how y'all do.
So yeah, I mean, so I totally understand
Yeah,
why there's that anticipation when it comes to looking at Texas
yeah.
with wanting to match up in
I,
these
I,
games.
I just think I just think that you guys have a real unique. You guys are gonna have a more unique schedule than OU. I think for OU it's gonna be. I don't know. It just feels like kind of. I wouldn't necessarily say same old, but just from my opinion, it feels like okay. Well, if they just give us Kentucky, Auburn, but then they give us, obviously they're gonna give us Texas A&M, Texas, obviously, probably Arkansas,
Probably
maybe.
Arkansas. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, in Missouri, it's kind of hard because you've kind of already had those rivalries with those guys, but I feel like you guys
we're
have
going to venture
have a
new
better chance to
territory.
have maybe like fresher opponents to kind of build that. You get what I'm saying?
It's going to be
Yeah, yeah.
interesting. It's
I
going to
forgot.
be,
I forgot Missouri. I
yeah,
was on YouTube when we
Yeah,
when we played Missouri, and
yeah,
obviously Arkansas kicked our ass in Vietnam. So
yeah.
yeah, no. But all those games and all those moments have been a lot. Like they've all been. I mean, y'all seen it. They've
uh,
been very emotional games, all
no,
of
yeah,
them.
But also, I think what people need to realize too is, I mean, Texas is a huge brand, and people say they want. No, Chris, you can laugh all you want. It's a huge brand,
we already know it's
and
a big,
and
huge
so
brand.
it's a brand that also when it's on TV, it makes a lot of money regardless of what the Texas is a huge school with a lot of fans, guys. So a Texas bringing a huge fan base to go play Alabama at Alabama this year, it's going to be freaking huge. A Texas versus a Georgia is going to be huge. This reminds me of boxing, right? And so
Huge.
yeah, so in boxing, where you have one fan base of one demographic comes in with
Correct.
another fan base of one demographic, almost like the Tank Davis versus Ryan, fight, or like
Great
a
example.
yeah, or like Floyd versus Oscar, right? You got two different demographics. They come together and make a mega fight, right? And that's what these games are going to be because you're going to have SEC fan bases are crazy, and especially when they have the big brands like the LSU's, the Bamas, the Georgias, the Texas A&Ms, now Texas.
Yeah.
When you bring those two big brands together, different cultures too, because Texas, as much as Texas is in the South, I'm from Louisiana. It's a big difference, all right? And so you're bringing a fan base of loyal Louisiana swamp people, and you're bringing them to Texas, which is the Southwest thing, and you're bringing those two cultures together. It is going to be a clash. It's going to be awesome.
Nino, another thing too, to Chris's point though, where I will agree with Chris, is the anticipation for these schedules. It's gonna cause debate, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
there's no longer gonna be, there's no more gray area once the schedule comes out, because there's gonna be SEC fans that think that the SEC gave Texas maybe a bump.
Yeah.
Or there's going to be fans that think that the SEC is trying to haze Texas and OU with the schedule. Like, people are going to look at it any way they want.
I don't see how like, I can't speak for Oklahoma because I think Oklahoma's going to have a little bit easier schedule. No, I do. I think you guys are going to get the Missouris. I think you guys are going to get because that's you guys' region.
That was leading into my point, and I'll let you finish. But that was leading to my point.
Yeah.
Was the two things that I'm excited about the most with this is to see kind of the new schedule you guys forge as far as going forward, because I think, like I said, we have ties kind of for some odd reason dating back to a lot of these teams and stuff. Hell, Ty, going back watching a lot of classic games, we played y'all awful lot throughout the 90s, to be honest with you. Bama or whatever, home and home series. But what I'm saying is that that's something that I'm really interested in for Texas. But the second thing is honestly, who gets the gauntlet? Who is going to have that schedule where you say, damn, that's a gauntlet? Like
Texas, because I'm telling you, it's gonna be Texas, because they're gonna want Texas LSU. I'm telling you, that's going to be a game, because that's going to be the border war. And as much as Texas A&M wants to make LSU their rivalry, LSU doesn't give a damn about Texas A&M. It is what it is.
I gotta see it. I gotta see it to believe it, because, and I know this has non-con shouldn't have a role in this, but Texas plays Michigan.
I don't think the SEC cares about that.
I know. I'm just saying, like,
y'all going to the big house? Y'all going up there? Or y'all coming here? Oh,
we're going to Michigan.
Awesome.
Dude,
yeah. Okay.
You want to talk about seeing a Texas game on the road? Man, that'd be such a cool
That's
one
a destination.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
It's going to be an ugly ass game. Boy,
I might have to look into
yellow,
trying to go. That'd be so cool.
That burnt, nasty orange. Boy, it's going to be nasty out there. Hey,
it's going to be good, though. I can't wait till next week.
Todd, do you have a point that you want to make? Because I got a question for you before we get up.
Yeah, look, I'm interested in seeing the schedules. I was a little bit disappointed we didn't get the 9 game with the 3 permanent.
I know, man. I'm pissed.
I really liked. Now I understand why, right? Like, the whole reasoning Greg Sankey and the SEC are putting forth is, look, everybody says the SEC is the best conference in all of college football. If we're going to play an extra game, you're going to compensate us for an extra game. ESPN said, no, you're getting the contract as it stands. The SEC said, well, we're not going to go out there and play an extra high-quality game for the same paycheck that 8 games gives us.
Yeah.
So I get it from a business side, but from a fan, I just am like...
I hate that, man.
I liked the LSU. I know it was very hard, right? But the LSU, Auburn, Tennessee, because personally, I've said this to Chris, I think there's a new age rivalry, at least to me, with Alabama and LSU forming.
Yeah,
and I want to foster that. I want to foster that.
Look here.
I wanted that game.
My wife's family is from Alabama, and I'm going to tell you, Auburn's their rival, okay? My sister-in-law is old enough to remember when Tennessee was their rival, too. Like, she hates Tennessee. And LSU. Like, she looks at those 3, that's it. And it's really, to be honest with you, she says LSU's their number 1 rival now. Then Auburn.
Yeah.
I was watching the 2019.
They're competitive.
I was watching the 2019 game, and I turned it off when 2 on that first drive, when he fumbled the ball. I turned it off. I said, no. I said, this game even had me like going high,
That game
low,
was
low,
much
high.
closer than people
Yes.
remember.
Yeah, I
Yes,
that was
man.
a phenomenal game.
Yeah,
Look,
that
I
game
was,
right there, so much talent on the
when
field.
that game
so
was
good.
getting played, Texas played Kansas State, I think, and I was at the game at Texas when the game was going on,
Yeah.
and I was like, damn, I'm missing having two screens and watching Texas versus Kansas State, and then watching LSU Bama, and I saw LSU go up on the board, and then Alabama came back storming, and I mean, look, man, I hate time with you. Give me 9 games. Please give me 9-3. I do not want to see Texas play, Abilene Christian or like Incarnate Worth before they play Texas A&M next year. That's not my idea of good football at week 11.
Play
It's just
Rice.
not my idea,